We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Hear the drummer get wicked. Here we go again. Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's good, man?
The man of many undisclosed locations here.
Man, it's if you only knew, brother, it's pretty busy.
It's the summertime though, man. So I was like, hey, you know what? People are all over the place these days for the summertime though, man. Like you got your hands moving around here.
Yeah, man, I got my hands in a lot of different pots right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, before we get started, I got a subject. I don't know what all you got on deck for today, but I got something we can talk about. But I'll let you. You got the music today?
Listen, man. Hold on. Let me make sure you can hear the music. Give me 1 second. Let me see something. Let me see. All right, here we go. Hey, listen here, man. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube page. I say this every episode. We are live on both platforms at the same time. You can like, subscribe, get the notifications whenever we are live, so that way you won't miss out on your boys and them. Ace Kennedy.
What's up?
You were saying.
So interesting. I was on the way up. I was listening to Draymond Green, and apparently he kind of got into it with Stephen A. He was basically saying that, you know, the new media is here to stay. And so when he said new media, he was basically saying that some of the old media, some of their tactics is they have to like down talk somebody in order to build somebody else up.
True.
Where he was saying, like, he said, now Patrick Beverly, he said, I ain't gonna lie, you know, he took a bunch of criticism for the stuff that he said about CP3 or whatever. But at the same time, he still had some good analysis about stuff. But one of the things that he did, he talked really, really well about Steph, but he also talked really well about LeBron. And they were wanting him basically trying to make it seem like, oh, he was talking crazy about LeBron in order to build Steph up. And he was like, nah, the new media knows how to give flowers. We can do it for everybody. Like everybody can get love and not have to bring somebody else down in order to do it. So Stephen A was just basically like, look, there's no way I'm going to let nobody that used to play the game come in and take over my spot, basically. So and he was just like, bro, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, the new media is here.
So when you say new media, do you mean where athletes are media personalities, basically? Because, you know, you see, I saw just today that CJ McCollum will be a season-long analyst, very much how I think I remember Josh Norman when he was playing with the Washington football team at the time. He was also a full-time or year-long analyst while the season was going. So I think CJ McCollum. So does he mean that, hey, this is the new media where you have more guys that have podcasts, or do you mean where you actually have it to where fans have a bigger voice and you see more people like us that have podcasts where we talk about stuff?
No, I think new media meaning that a mindset. Like you're gonna, because you can have some older players that used to play come in and become analysts or whatever, and they're gonna have some of the same mindset. Like he was saying that I think James Worthy was on there and basically saying how players are soft now because they have actual relationships with their people that don't play with them. And so the fact that you have those particular players like a Draymond Green, like a Kevin Durant, and these other guys that are still actively playing and have an opinion about stuff, they don't have the same mindset because their media numbers aren't driven by the same thing as far as the content. And you say that, I have to do this, or like how, see, ESPN ran with the Chris Paul thing with Patrick Beverly because they drew numbers. And so it's basically, and so even Draymond was like, look, I don't have an issue with him saying what he said, but when he made it personal, that's where it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so that's where he's saying the new media doesn't, you get it. So that's where the new media is kind of just the mindset, so to speak.
Well, you know what? So here's the thing. This is the thing I think that is different, though, man. Like I think that, like, for me, that if you've been watching it for TV as long as we've been watching it, debate shows have always been, a pretty big, like draw for most of them. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why you got the Skip and Shannons, you had the Cold Pizzas, you had the Skipping, you had First Take, and you had all these ones. And I think that some people have made a living based off of their hot takes, right? Colin Cowherd, is one of those where he was a shock jock. There were things that he were places where he was willing to go, and that other people just wouldn't dare say about certain people. I think that there is this big thing to me that you have your people in the media seem to have their favorites, and they'll go far to protect their favorites. Like one of the things that I've always seen that I know that Stephen A. Smith tries to be objective, but he does have his biasness where he'll protect certain players and protect certain people as well, and because I think that he has personal relationships with them. So there were some times where he would go in on people, and I'm like, yo, you're really going in. That's cool, but keep that energy on everybody. I think that the same could be said with everybody. Like, they have their favorites. Like, I think that, like, you watch the theme of Skip and Shannon, right? The theme of their stuff is LeBron Jordan. And, I think that Skip tends to talk down on LeBron to talk up Jordan. And I don't think that's even necessary at all. And I think that there are some times where even with current players, right, when you especially start to talk about, like, Kevin Durant, right? And where you see that is one question I want to ask you, bro. Okay, so let me ask you this. The NBA finals are set. Want me some bread? Got my money. I haven't collected yet. I'm still collecting by this Sunday, by the way, right? But question for you though, bro. So with the Warriors and the Celtics, both now in the finals, is it something to be said that KD and Kyrie left both of those teams, and both of those teams are now in the finals?
I don't think it says anything about KD. It doesn't say anything about Kyrie either. Let me say why. So, like we talked about, this is the reason why everybody said that KD walked into a championship, because they were a 73-9 team before he even got there. And so obviously you bring Kevin Durant, that's going to free up double teams, which was another conversation between KD and Draymond. It freed up double teams or whatever. And the thing is when Kyrie was on the Celtics, right, they were clearly better when he was hurt. So the thing is that it was no surprise that they did as well as they did. But I mean, at the same time, Kyrie had been gone for like 2 years, and they finally made it back because they still kind of struggled with personnel as well. I think the problem that Boston had initially was when they brought in Aaron Gordon. They tried to, he was coming off of the injury and he wasn't quite the same, and they were trying to integrate him. I think they should have always kept the focus on Marcus Smart, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. So I think that's not really a story to me, because we knew that's why I said it's an asterisk about KD, at least with one ring, the second one, whatever. But that's just where I'm at with it.
So here's the thing I think that is interesting to me. I do think that I think that it says a couple of things though. Like I think that what it clearly tells me is that I think it clearly tells me that the Celtics, not just that they won more when Kyrie, I think that Kyrie, the element, it told me that Kyrie isn't for everybody. And not just that, I think that personally, man, that Kyrie clearly was holding them back. And when I say holding them back, like I think that there are certain kinds of OG leadership that you need, right? I think that the Celtics needed an Al Horford kind of OG, right? Not necessarily the Kyrie kind of OG. I think that what's crazy to me about it is that I think that with all things considered, I think that Kyrie complained that when LeBron came back to Miami, that LeBron was like trying to little bro him, right? But I think that it felt like Kyrie was trying to little bro Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown them too when he was there though, man. And it's almost like, well, bro, like if we doing well, we were quite well before you got here. And I think that Kyrie looked at us like I could show y'all the way, basically. That's how at least it felt. And so I think
right, he was trying to tough love him. He was trying to tough love him. But at the same time, I will shoot him some bail on certain things. I'm not going. I of course, you know, Kyrie is pretty private about the stuff that he has going on, but he did lose his grandfather during that time. He was dealing with a lot, but I'm not giving him no excuses. He still was trying to be.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I understand that though, man. But this is the thing I think that's important to be said that I wholeheartedly think about with the NFL. I understand with all the things that people have going on, but once you step on that floor, I can't unsee that. So in the NFL, if you hurt, if you got something you going on, and you step on that field, right? The minute you step on that field, I can't unsee what I just saw, right?
No. I'm not talking about the on-court stuff. I'm talking about the off-court stuff.
No. I get that.
I know.
I don't expect that when you're I don't expect that when you're in a lineup and you're playing that you're taking a shot and say, "Oh man, I missed my grandfather." Oh, my grandfather would have been mad about that.
Right. That's why I'm not talking about the on-court. I'm talking about off-court, meaning that how he dealt with his teammates off the court. Because a lot of times they were saying that there was issues with them off court. That's what I'm talking about.
I can see that.
Like you said, once you step on the court, all that other stuff is gone. Yeah. Because you decided to be there.
Here's the thing, though, bro. I do think that there's something to be said, though, right, about the Warriors with them being back here without KD. Because with all things considered, right, I firmly believe that provided Clay and Steph never got hurt, I think that the Warriors are back contending for championships every single year without Kevin Durant. It also does tell me, dang, boy, if KD would have stayed, I think that these boys could have had 5 rings by now. Like I don't. Yeah, really
they could have been bull status.
Oh my gosh, I don't really. And here's the thing. So then, what I've been thinking about the aftermath of this, right, is that what if so let's just say KD goes to Golden State and he doesn't leave. And let's just say they go on and they got the 2 rings, but let's just say they get 5 together. That means that Steph and them had already had 2, had already had 1 before he got there. So they would be in that Jordan company. I think that the Bulls downfall is that they didn't run it back until nobody could do it. They had all these other things that basically prevented them from running it back, right? On that last dance. But I think that, God, it does make me think that, sheesh, boy, like if they would have had KD, I can easily see that they would have at least been in the finals or contending in the Western Conference Finals now very easily. It tells me that I think that provided that they had KD, that they would have very easily beat the Raptors. That would have been a ring. I think so much. But at the same time, right, it also tells me that the Warriors are just fine without KD, right? That the Celtics were just fine, but it tells me that their organization, right, is built right. That they can lose
see, I was
him.
I was gonna bring. See, that's what I was about to bring up. I think that them making it back to where they are shows the level of coach that Steve Kerr is. A lot of people did not like how he got the job, how he basically walked into a ring because Mark Jackson is the one who particularly put that team together.
Right.
And he just kind of came in and then they won a ring. But the fact that they went all the way down almost to where they was getting draft picks and stuff like that, and then for him to get all the way back 100% shows the type of organization that they have.
So one last question on you on this thing.
Yeah, because I got something else. Go ahead.
Provided, let's say if the Warriors win this, right? The Warriors win this. Okay, matter of fact, let me ask you this beforehand. On your, here we go, back to my list, right? On your GOATs list, greatest of all time players list, do you have KD ahead of Steph?
No.
You don't have KD above Steph.
I don't. I think Kevin Durant is one of the most prolific basketball players I've ever seen. He went to Texas. I respect him. He came to Oklahoma City. I respect him. There's only one thing in his career that I don't respect. But outside of that, I hate you. But the thing is that with Steph, though, I respect the fact that I watched Steph struggle through injury when they had Monte Ellis. And they were like contemplating getting rid of Steph, and they got rid of Monte Ellis. And for him to stay with that team, even through all his injuries, even when the Warriors were down after the championships, he came back even in the season that wasn't going to do anything, and he still was being Steph. So for that, I respect that. I have him above it. He has more rings.
I think that here's why I personally, right? So I was kind of where I was going to go with this, right? Is that if you had KD over Steph, but if Steph wins this ring, this was a question that I saw on Undisputed here that I wanted to pick your brain about. But if you had KD above Steph, if Steph wins this other ring, right, does it matter to you if he does not get the finals MVP to determine if you would have him ranked higher than KD? Like in your all-time list, how much does it matter that somebody wins the finals MVP?
That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't hold me. See, a lot of my stuff, if you notice, I've been very consistent about I am an eye test person. I don't care about I don't really care about the accolades and stuff like that because we know how that can go. My thing is because Clay could get hot in the finals, and if Clay is the finals MVP, that's not going to bother me. But at the same time, it still was an effort on everybody's front to get them there. They would not have got there without Steph. They wouldn't have got there without Clay. They wouldn't have got there without Jordan Poole and even Draymond. So that doesn't bother me if he doesn't end up getting the finals MVP.
You know, I think that this year, probably more than any other, like I told you, I don't really root for teams like that, right? But I do like to, I do like to root even from afar for dynasties, right? So when I see what the Warriors could do, the fact that they could have those 4 rings in 6 years, I'd want to see them do it. And I think that the reason why I particularly like the Warriors is because I like that all of their stars are homegrown. Like with the exception of Andrew Wiggins, who they got through trade, I respect the fact that, yeah, Mark Jackson came along, right? And that Mark Jackson helped them start with the players and everything like that. But I think a lot of their current culture is due to Steve Kerr, right? And I think that it's said, I respect in a day where you have players that are teaming up. I mean, they've done it before, right? But I think that them getting back to the finals just basically shows that you can do it because it makes it easier. But I think at the same time, though, I respect the team that's homegrown team. Like when I saw the Bucks win, regardless of what you want to say, right? I'm more impressed with how if you were comparing rings, right? I'm more impressed with how Giannis got his ring than how KD may have got his, right? Because he stayed 10 toes down on his. So I don't know, man. It's something about seeing a homegrown team. So that's why for me, that's why for that reason, I'm good if the Celtics win, right? But I think that I like that the Warriors, that this is their window, right? And that the Celtics, if they're really right, then they actually have time. So I don't know.
Right. The thing is, I did want to comment on Boston before we move on. I wanted to say that I think that them making it to the finals also justifies their coaching change as well. Because a lot of people had issue with Bradley Stevens going up to the management position and then switching coaches. But I think that he was the coach to be able, the voice to be able to get them to a new place. So I respect them. And they didn't play slouches to get to the Eastern Conference. I mean, to the championship either. So I am very much looking forward to this series because I think these were the best teams in the NBA. But moving on, though, I wanted to talk to you real quick about the Lakers. So they got their head coach finally, and from all things that's been said, it looks like he has the full support of the upper leadership to be able to build his staff the way he wants. No Kurt Rambis, and he gets to bring in whatever coaching staff he wants. He got a 4-year deal, and they basically have to move out of his way. That was part of his, like, if I'm gonna do this, this is what it's got to be. What's your thoughts on that? Oh, and they've been telling teams that they are keeping Russ.
See, okay, so here's the thing. I understand that from a basketball financing perspective that you figure that I'm not gonna just cut Russ, right? I don't see it being. Listen, they won't win, but it won't be Darvin Ham's. It won't be his fault, right? I think that Norton. I didn't think that it was the coach's fault the last season. I think that you put a lot more. You put a lot more of the blame on on Frankie V than I did. I think that I put like this. I think that the Lakers, let's just say, provided everybody is healthy, right? Just say if you're saying you're gonna take the same exact roster, right, and provided everybody's healthy, I think that it's still a 50-win team, right? But I think at the same time, and that's provided that they were just healthy, right? But I still think that at the end of the day, the Lakers are old, right? And at the end of the day, if your caveat and everything that you're hanging on to for the season is going to be based off of Anthony Davis' health, well, his history shows that the only thing that he's consistent with is being injured. So if you factor that in, I just don't think that. I think that this roster, I mean, and that's the thing about it. I think that for the bubble season, Anthony Davis was fairly healthy. I don't remember him missing hardly any games or whatever. But it's like
that's because they had a long break in between the season.
That's true. But I just think that that to me, then I think that more than anything, Anthony Davis's performance in the bubble was more of the exception than his norm. And because of that, I just don't. Put it like this, man. LeBron James is going to be 37 years old. He's going into his 19th season.
I thought he was going to be 38 this year.
Something like that, though, bro. Listen, man.
Let me defend what because I ain't like how you just slid that one off. That you said I put more onus on.
You
Frank
put a
Vogel
lot of blame on Frank Vogel than I did.
Okay, right. So let me explain that. This is the example I'm talking about, right? I just got finished saying that Boston ended up in the finals because they made a coaching change, and I'm saying that that Golden State won a championship because they made a coaching change. Here's what I mean by that. I'm not sitting up here saying it's not the coach's responsibility to be on the floor to make baskets or to even do defense, but it is the coach's. The coach has to have a voice to where the players are listening. So if they're not listening, then it is on the coach, because that's where I'm coming from. The thing is that there's been a couple of teams that have made coaching changes and they've significantly got better. Dallas being one of them, Boston being one of them, Golden State being one of them. So I'm not saying Vogel isn't a good coach. I just don't think at that particular point his voice was no longer valid as the Lakers.
Okay,
coach.
so I can see that as a good. I can see the Dallas as a thing. But here's my thing though, right? You can't necessarily. Let's just say if you mean to tell me that if your coach's voice is no longer being heard after he won you a championship, so having a ring on your finger doesn't necessarily, then I can see, okay, well, yeah. But then at the same time, right, I think that the reason why your voice can grow stale is when you have a bunch of old players on your team, right? Because they've been there before. All those guys know how the NBA really works. All the Lakers guys know that, oh, okay, well, yeah, our contracts are longer than yours, right? All those guys know that at the end of the day, this is the way I look at it, bro. I think at the end of the day, you can't. The only thing that Frank Vogel can do, like, what is he gonna do that Russ was the worst 3-point shooter in the league, or that he was the bottom 5 free throw shooter in the league? What is it, Frankie V's? What is Vogel gonna do with Russ being the worst? You got to play him, right? But he's being one of the worst. Wait. What is Frank Vogel gonna do that Carmelo Anthony, when he gets in the game, right? That every team is gonna, in the regular season. So in the playoffs, right? You can build strategies with your personnel versus that. But to get to that, right? You can't get to that because your team, everybody on your team is a liability on defense. So now, if you're telling me that Russ is that he's playing bad on offense, I'm not gonna say that. Let's say he didn't have his greatest season, and he's a liability on defense. And now Carmelo is a liability on defense, and you got AD, who's a liability because he's not out there. You got Dwight Howard out there nowadays getting dunked on. You got LeBron James, who just, he's 37. He can't sit in that seat. And if LeBron James is your best player at 37, then it's just like, that's not coaching though, bro. That's personnel, and he did pick the personnel.
Charles, I understand everything that you're saying, but this is what I have an issue with, even the regular media trying to blame. Like, this is what I be trying to act like. Y'all be acting like if Russ wasn't on the team, the Lakers would have won more games. The Lakers still would have been.
I'm not making this about Russ.
Okay, but I'm saying most of media is doing that. This is what I'm saying. The team as a whole didn't play defense, just like you eloquently just put it. And so I'm saying, if your team isn't playing defense, if your coach can't do something about it, then you need to change, because you're not going to change the players. You're not. Like you said.
But you can't, but just because your coach is the most expendable person, it doesn't mean that it was his.
I didn't say it was.
No. And I'm not saying, I didn't say that you said that it was all his fault. I'm saying between the two of us, you put more blame on him than I did.
Right, I did. And the reason for that is because of the fact that the coach's voice can change the culture, is what I'm saying. And I said, and I gave examples behind that. I'm not saying that 100% that if that would have been the case, that the Lakers would have turned their season around. But at the same token, it could have been a difference. It could have been a difference with that. So that's all I'm saying.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you, right? This probably won't bode so well with you, but I gotta be honest with you, bro. I think that the Lakers probably would have won more games if they did have Westbrook, bro. I don't. Because here's the thing. This is the other problem that they had, right? The other issue. Let me go outside. The other issue that the Lakers had was that they just had the personnel. They had too much change in personnel. Like, they did not have a consistent roster almost the whole time that they played. They had almost a different starting 5. And so, and I ain't even just talking about, of course you got injuries and stuff like that, but just, they had different personnels almost every night. They had no consistency. And so my thing is that I hate the narrative that people are trying to put it like Russ was the downfall of the Lakers, when, to me, if you asked me, Ahmad, if you had to pick one player that made the most significant impact to the Lakers, who is it? It's clearly Anthony Davis. Okay. Yes, I agree with you there. But I'm just saying that the reason why I think the Lakers would have won more games without West is that I look at that and say, well, what you gave up, what your alternatives were, instead of Russ, I think that you would have won more with them. I think that, to be honest with you, I think that provided that if they would have did the whole Buddy Hield deal, and even if they would have had to tack on Marvin Bagley to take him, I just think that I think that it allows you to, it's one like this. It's one less person that can't play defense out
so
there.
But nobody was playing defense though. So the defensive argument doesn't count then. If what I'm saying is no, it don't. So what I'm saying is, if you're gonna count defense, then you got to talk about the whole team. But you keep singling out Russ on defense.
No, but even if you took Melo off the roster, right? I'm just saying that to me, that you right now you got 4 guys who are getting minutes that don't play defense. You got to be better off with 3, 2.
Let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this, because I know we got more stuff to talk about besides basketball. But let me ask you this: If AD didn't get hurt, would they have made the playoffs?
If AD would have gotten hurt, if AD did not get hurt, I think they would have won 50 games.
Thank you. So my thing is that then the argument about Russ, whether him being on the team or not, doesn't change anything.
No, but listen to the thing about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if they didn't have Russ and they had the other players who they could have gotten instead of Russ, I think they could have won about 54. I think Russ, I'm not going to say Russ cost them. I'm not going to say Russ single-handedly cost them a game, but I'm saying that the roster that includes Russ and what you and the adjustments that you have to make, 4-game difference though, bro.
I would love to see what they look like with Russ next year. I really want to. I can't wait to see that. So.
And listen, the one thing I hate is this narrative that people say, "Oh, Russ lost his athleticism." I think that's just the stupidest thing ever. When people say, "Oh yeah, he could only give you buckets based off of his athleticism," like you'd be hard pressed to show me 10 guys right now in the league that are more Russ to say that his athleticism is so much of a decline. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. What else we got on deck?
Hey, so listen, just a whole separate thing though, man, that I wanted to see if you caught wind of this though, man. Have you been keeping up, man? This is your boy. I saw this because your boy Whack 100 and Blueface posted videos. I guess apparently, you know what I'm saying, Blueface's girl, who I believe was an artist. I mean, you talk about somebody who's been toxic. And this, let me tell you where I'm going with this, bro. Where I'm going with this, right, is that Blueface, he has been been on the scene, not even for the music, right? But I've been seeing him and this girl, Krishan. She gets into a fight with Blueface mama. She done got into a fight with Blueface sister. And both of them are just posting this on out there. And I'm thinking that this girl basically like whooped Blueface mama though, bro. And listen, I don't know what the dynamics of his relationships is with his mom though, bro. But hey, Skidity, this is one of those things that Double XL magazine said, hey, all y'all in 2022, y'all need to get over the fact that people are going to be out here for more than just the music. They hear like that. I'm bothered by that, bro. Am I tripping?
Bro, it's not like what I'm with that. Like, what is that going to change that people want people not to be in the media? Like, it's a new wave. Like, I mean, just to think, I mean, if you think about all the stuff that when our parents' music was out that has changed when our music came on the scene, right? Yeah. So what makes you think that now things aren't going to change, especially with the internet involved? Like, that's just one of them things, like, it's gonna be. So I just think that it's pointless to keep trying to make it change. Like, it's not.
It's hard for me because this, you know, the reason why for me, it's hard for me because it's hard for me because I wanted to like Blueface for his music, right?
Silk the Shocker 2022.
Well, so here's the thing about it. I think that what I found, and Landon put me on to this. He says no, Blueface can rap on beat. I think
he can. I know he can. He does it on purpose. He said that.
Right. So that's my thing though, bro. So then I'm thinking like, okay, well now if I know that you're doing it on purpose, I don't think Silk the Shocker was doing it on purpose, but I think that's just how he rapped. So, but I don't know. But I want to like you because of your music.
I actually think he did do it on purpose. I think that was why he could come in on and off beat when he wanted to. I thought it was just, to be honest, I just thought it was different and creative. I mean, it was something different. Like, you knew that was about Silk the Shocker. I mean, what else was he?
Gotta let me hit it, bro. And let me hit it still is my joint.
What else was you gonna do when you rapping against Mystical? Like, what else are you gonna do with your regular voice? What you gonna do with Mr. Magic? Like, what you gonna do? I mean, you have a roster full of these beasts. You have to be able to do something different. So I didn't mind Silk the Shocker. I thought it was because, like I said, I thought it was a skill for him to be able to get off beat and to knew that he could catch up with it and go in and out of it.
So you think that Silk the Shocker can really, like, if you put a beat on right now, you think he can go on beat, and that whole time it was just deployed to let you think that he was rapping on beat? It
was definitely a gimmick. I definitely believe that 100%.
Oh man. All right. So but that was it. Speaking of Master P though, man, I heard the sad news, man, that Master P's daughter died, and I don't think that they got into very much detail, but they did.
They said substance abuse.
Yeah, that's sad. And usually when I hear substance abuse, man, the way this fentanyl been knocking people out though, bro, I was just like, yo, it's the first thing that come to mind. Like, nowadays, it's sad because when I hear that somebody's passed away, in my head, I immediately think it's fentanyl or it's COVID, one of the two. Like, people, it's bruh. But that was sad though, man.
It was very sad, and obviously that's Romeo's sister. So I just feel bad for the whole family, but yeah, I hate hearing about death, period. Just because what Ray Liotta?
Yeah, Ray Liotta. Yeah. And listen,
and he died in his sleep.
Yeah. Hey man, at least it seemed like that was peaceful.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Yeah. So then on some more pleasant news. So I saw here today, man, that Nicki Minaj was named Maxim Magazine's new creative director. Now, here's what I think is interesting, because just like last year, I think that Cardi B was named Playboy's creative director to give them some jolt of energy, basically. And I think that from what they've said is that Playboy magazine has kind of turned their stuff around. What I think is funny about it is that I'm seeing more Playboy merch that I think looks fly, that I was like, okay, I gotta go ahead and get that. But I think that it's just kind of giving them that revitalizing touch from them, though, man. I think it's a good look. So my question for you is this: in the spirit of competition, could Cardi B just say, yeah, this chick riding my wave? Like, she's trying to do the same things that I'm doing.
I think she could, but I don't think she will. Like, that's the thing. I think Cardi is not focused. Like, she's one of the ones that obviously responds to fans more than probably any artist or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that Cardi is so focused on the stuff that she has going on. I think she only responds to when somebody is dogging her for like either copying or doing whatever. She doesn't really get into that whole thing about, let me try to do this to be in competition with this person, or she doesn't care about, like, she believes in other people getting a bag. It's not, that's not her thing. I do too.
I like Cardi. And it's just the crazy thing is that I think I said it before, man. I think that I like Cardi the person, the Cardi, the whatever it is, the entertainer, the whatever it is that comes with that. I'm not gonna sit here and say, like, I do hold it against her if she doesn't write all of her raps, but that's when I'm comparing MCs. But in terms of just likability, I think I'm a big Cardi fan though, bro. Big Cardi fan.
Yeah, why are you talking about music though, bro? Just real quick. So I was, we was getting into the conversation talking about how, like, Tank was basically saying that he didn't believe that Young Blue, or okay, he's Blue now because he dropped the Young, that Blue didn't win, R&B Artist of the Year or whatever it was, but he won like Hip Hop Artist of the Year. So he was saying that, he's a hybrid, right? And there's so many other hybrids. Even people was talking about, I think, what, Doja Cat. won something, and you know, some people was upset about that because they're like,
people been trying to get Doja Cat out of the rap category, bro. Out of here. People have been, for as long as I've heard Doja Cat, I've always heard people always, like, she does pop rap. And people have been trying to get her away from hip hop.
Yeah. My solution is just like how we talked about Maxim and Playboy updating, trying to revitalize their brand. I think that we need to expand our categories, and we need to have a category called melodic soul.
I don't see melodic soul seems so.
Here's the thing: we have neo soul, we have R&B. My thing is that I don't want to call it like hip hop soul.
It's hip hop. It's to me, it's melodic. I would say melodic hip hop.
I'm just saying because what I'm saying is the artists themselves, they classify themselves as R&B, right? They won't say they're pop. They won't say that they're rappers. They think that this is the new R&B. And to my thing is, if you're saying like, I have nothing against the artistry that they do, but at the same time, if it's not R&B, it's not R&B. And so my thing is that I don't have an issue with creating a category for them so that there can be an R&B category for R&B artists. Like, you know, there are R&B singers and then there are R&B artists. And so I think that there needs to be a category. If we had a category for neo soul, we can have a category for melodic soul. That's my opinion.
But here's my thing though. This is I think the only way you do that is whatever this sound is it just the current sound, or is it here? Like, is it here to stay? Like, when I say that, right, I'm saying, like, you think of genres and you think of hip hop, you think of neo soul, R&B, rock and roll, pop, country music. Those are genres. So it's like when you go to create something, is creating a category especially for them, is it deserving? Because the sound hasn't been around very long. So it's like,
it's been around for like 10 years, bro.
It ain't been around for 10 years, bro. It's like 5.
When's the first time Migos came out?
See, I don't consider Migos. I don't think Migos is R&B.
You don't. But what I'm saying is Migos started that sound. The Fetty Wap sound. That is exactly what that is.
No, I see Fetty Wap more. Yeah, but I'm saying
when did that come out? When did Fetty Wap come out? Look it up.
Let me see something, bro. You gonna make me.
And while you looking that up, I do want to go ahead and let y'all know the boy was nominated for R&B of the year, R&B Male Artist of the Year.
Okay.
So
that came. So Trap Queen came out in 2015. So, you know, somewhere in between what we've been saying. It's still fair. But this is my thing. But even then, though, right? Like, I'm talking about, like, when I think about that kind of sound, I think of somebody like Juice WRLD. I think of like
Black.
I think Black is R&B. I think Black is the only one that I think is R&B and hip hop. He's the only one that I can think of that says, "Oh, do you know what? He raps." Maybe the boy Young Blue, but raps as good as he
my
sings.
thing is that when I think R&B immediately, right? When I think R&B, I think Daniel Caesar. I don't think Daniel Caesar and Blue need to be in the same category. I don't.
Whoa! If Blue makes a whole R&B album where he is very minimally rapping and he's singing, then that's R&B to me. I think so. I mean, I get what you're saying.
But here's the thing, though, right? That's just like if a basketball player comes and says this is the rule he thinks needs to be in basketball. I'm more apt to listen to him because he's in that particular thing. So if Tank, who is the king of R&B right now, is saying that there needs to be some distinction, I'm more inclined to believe it.
Time out. Tank ain't the king of R&B right now anyway, bro.
Who is?
If you gonna say anybody right now, got to be Chris Brown.
No.
Stop playing, bro.
No.
Listen.
Listen.
I know that we biased, bro, but you gonna sit here with a straight face and tell me that Tank is the king of R&B. He's the gatekeeper. Right. Everything goes through him.
Let me explain what I'm saying, right? Just like when James Brown was still active while Michael Jackson was out, right? I think that there's no way I cannot nod to James Brown because I favor Michael Jackson more because James Brown is his OG. So my thing is same with like Usher, right? If Usher was more active, I could say something like that. Usher ain't active enough. Like Usher's now an icon. So my thing is because Tank is still active, then Chris Brown is under him. But the thing is, you favor Chris Brown more. So that's why you would say that he's the king of R&B.
So you don't think that you blatantly favor Tank? And you listen, Tank is
no. Listen, Charles, I'm explaining.
There's never been a time where anybody say Tank is the best R&B artist right now besides Ace Kennedy. He's the only person who's ever said Tank is the best one in R&B right now.
Charles, when I am saying Chris Brown is under Tank. When it comes to OGs or whatever like that, we talk about who's been in there longer, who has it's Tank. So he is the king of R&B. I know you don't agree with that, but it's the truth. Like Chris Brown is under Tank. So if there's still an OG out there, then I still have to respect the OG. That's just what it is. So I get it. You favor Chris Brown more or whatever, but even Usher is over Chris Brown. And you don't, once again, you favor Chris Brown more than you do Usher. You favor Chris Brown more than you do Tank. So that's why you wouldn't say that. So it is what it is, but it's the truth. That's just like me trying to say that that's like me trying to say that Drake is the king of hip hop right now when Jay-Z is still out there. Like, nah, it's not gonna work.
Bro, no. So this is the difference. The difference to me is that I can't even entertain that conversation because you start off with Chris Brown as under Tank. If you're saying according to the Ace
Charles,
Kennedy
who's been
list,
in the game longer? No, it's not an Ace Kennedy list.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The time does not matter because you know the reason why. Based off of that logic, there's a lot of rappers. E40 has been around for a long time, and according to that logic, that means that Lil Wayne is under E40.
No, the difference in that is because when's the last time E40 put out a record?
Last year.
Right.
He's
before
active.
that, okay, and before no, he's not. Before
yes,
that, before that, then.
E40 is very active. E40 is very active. I gotta go to
pull it up. Pull up his discography.
E40
let's look at the okay, let's see. Pull it up.
Okay. Pulling up the E40. E40 put out an album in 2014, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. E40 put out albums. He puts out albums regularly. He's never stopped, bro.
Okay, so then who came out? You said the E40 came out before Wayne, right?
Yes.
So then Wayne is under E40.
Boy, you better stop playing, bro. As you know how ridiculous that sounds, though, bro. So you're saying that E40 is the king of rap?
Because I didn't say that. Never said that. Never said that. Never said that.
According to that, if you're putting out a list, then Wayne has to be under 40 because 40 is active and has been around before Wayne.
Right. When I say that,
sounds ridiculous.
That E40, that means that Wayne's OG would be E40. You're right.
No, not OG, not OG.
That's what
we're not talking about OG.
That's what I have been saying.
King.
Okay, and Jay-Z is the king of hip hop. That's right. So what are you talking about?
I get that,
So
but what I'm saying,
I asked
king
you
of
a question.
R&B.
I asked you a question. Who is over Tank? You gave me one example, which was Chris Brown. Chris Brown is under Tank.
Listen, if we go say over that, I think Usher is over Tank. I can name several people over Tank.
When is the last time Usher put out a record?
He's working on a record now.
No. Not working on. When is the last time he put out one? That's what I'm saying. Tank is still active.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because Joel Santana said this on the preview of his interview with Drinking Champs. Is not putting out new music and not having new music is different things. With that being said, it doesn't matter to me that as long as Usher says I'm not retired, until Usher says I'm retired, he'll always be above Tank and anybody except for Ace Kennedy.
Listen, no, it's not. Listen to what I'm saying. I am very much explaining it the right way. If Usher was to drop an album tomorrow, he would be the king of R&B. The fact that Usher has been talking about putting out an album for the last 5 years and he hasn't, he's not active. So once he it's just like if you had a membership somewhere. He
just had the residency.
Right? Hold on. If you had it doesn't matter about the residency. He's singing old songs. He didn't put out new stuff. What I'm saying is this. If you are a member of somewhere and you stop paying your membership dues, you are not a member until you start paying your membership dues again. So my thing is that until he drops new music, then he's not active. He's cataloging his old stuff as the residency. So that's not new music. He ain't dropped the album. He been talking about this Confessions project for the last 5 years, and he still ain't dropped. So that doesn't count. Tank is still putting out new music. He's still active.
Tank got 3 songs that everybody just know that doesn't say royalty anywhere. Like I get so this it's you know what it is, bro. Part of what because I like Tank, bro. But when you start to go here with Tank with your fanhood of Tank, bro,
it's not about being fanhood, bro. Because here's my thing. If you
I'm hating on Tank and I don't.
No. Because if you would have responded to me, and said, "Hey, nah, Tank is not the king of R&B. Neo is," I wouldn't have had no argument with you because Neo is still active. Now it's going to be my preference that I would say Tank is more of the king of R&B than Neo is. But again, if you would have came with me and said Neo, I would have no issue because it's not.
When is Tank's last album, bro?
When is Tank's last song that he dropped?
No.
I'm not Charles. I'm the one.
Album?
I said drop music.
2017.
Charles, I said drop music. You can go back and rewatch the pod. I said drop music.
But this is my thing though. But this is where when we talk about kings, right?
Right.
When you talking
First of all, Tank is in a league of his own in R&B because he writes, produces, records, and does his own stuff. He's in a league of his own. That's one thing. So my thing is that name another person that do all that.
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott ain't active right now. And she's again a hybrid.
She put out songs. She's put out a song last year.
You're right. But she's not active. So then I would call so I would call her a queen of R&B. She ain't the king of R&B.
So if you say that king, if you say that Tank is a king, okay, we cool. But when you say the king and you distinguish him as that's a whole.
And I asked you, and I gave you the platform to ask you to name somebody else, and you named somebody who's under him. So again,
just because this is my thing though. Here's my thing. There are a lot of people who have genuine, right? Genuine. So if based off of your logic, genuine, I believe I'm pretty sure had higher charting music before Tank, and technically speaking, genuine. If you can dig a genuine song right now, I mean, dig up a new genuine song. So based off of that, Tank is not the king because Genuine is above him.
No, Genuine. See, here's the thing: Genuine is always going to be Tank's OG because that's who brought him in the game. But okay, Genuine ain't. Hold on, I'm not done. Genuine ain't dropped no new music.
Genuine, listen, Genuine. You could go to Genuine's, and I'm sure Genuine has a song that he's dropped. It may not be as popular. I'm sure Genuine, bro.
Tell me the last time Genuine dropped a song.
You about to, bro. You're gonna make me go out here and find this Genuine.
Yeah, because if I could get to title, I would pull it right up. It'll show me exactly when the last time he dropped something. And not no songs that didn't come out publicly.
He got some. I'm sure Genuine got some. I'm sure that Genuine still does music, bro. So new music.
I didn't say still does. He's cataloging off his old stuff. He's touring right now. And reason why I know that, because Tank is on tour with him. But he ain't doing no new music. He's still out there pulling out the pony.
Bruh, listen, man. So based off of this, if Genuine, all it takes is for Genuine to come out with release one song, then by that definition, Tank is no longer
then he's paid his membership fees. That's what I said. I'm very consistent in what I'm saying, bro.
I think that's consistently ridiculous, bro.
You can think it all you want to, but it's logic.
I'm just sitting here thinking about that. That logic doesn't make sense. Nothing about that makes sense, bro.
It makes perfect sense. It's just like hold on, time out. I'm about to give you an example. That's just like saying if I asked you who's like John Moran is one of the most premier persons in the league right now, right? But I still can't take away what LeBron James is doing because LeBron James is still active. So
two different things.
What's the difference? How's it two different?
Two different conversations. And you know the reason? No.
And that's where I'm consistent at.
No. This is why we're talking about, because based off of what you're saying though, right? You're giving credence to longevity and not necessarily impact of their stuff. Because to me, right? Because you basically are saying that, if you came out before Usher, right? Then as long as you're still putting out music, then you're a king. You the king. You are his. You are like. Do you think that Usher really looks at Tank like he's a senior, like he is his OG? I don't think so. Like if anything, Usher should be looking at Tank like he's his OG. Like, nah, you my son. I don't like. I'm saying that doesn't make sense. But you're saying when somebody started.
But listen. It doesn't matter to me anyway because Usher ain't put out no new music. So again, when Usher put out new music,
the fact that you know Usher's still working on music and is
putting out
a project.
Usher has been talking about putting out a project for 5 years and ain't done it. So I don't want to hear it.
Tank's about to stop doing music anyway. So you gonna say when he put his that?
So when he retires from doing music, he is retiring from being the king of R&B. Then it's time for somebody else to step up.
No. Oh my gosh, bro! You just don't. I'm talking about. I just don't know what's more ridiculous: the saying it or the fact that I feel like you dead seriously believe that, bro.
I'm 100% believe it because it's the truth.
I think John Legend is more of an R&B king than Tank ever has been when it comes to king. And see, this is the thing about it. I think that Tank is a great art. I think Tank is phenomenal. But when you put him on that pedestal, I'm thinking like, no, there's no way in the history of R&B that anybody would rate Tank, except for you, higher than John Legend.
That's gonna be the question of the day tomorrow. Tank versus John Legend.
Man, you better go somewhere. So you put that on there, and some people are gonna be like, I bet you have somebody who's gonna have to Google Tank, right? And then some people are gonna ask you, who is Tank? And then when you count those
We'll
three
see.
songs that people
We
know
will
of
see.
Tank, bro, that's not even that. That's oh my gosh, bro.
No, this is based upon what you, because like you said, Tank and John Legend aren't even in the same genre.
They're R&B. They are both
You're right.
R&B.
You're right. So, but again, which is why I said because you want to put them like that. Then yeah, I ask people Tank or John Legend. You absolutely right.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, bro. Johnny Gill got a fairly new song out, bro. He was around before Tank, so Tank can't be king because Johnny Gill's still putting out songs.
I ain't heard no Johnny Gill song.
Yeah, that's why. But I know Johnny Gill has a song. I heard him play a song.
And like I said, Johnny Gill can be Tank's OG all he want to.
Not OG, he the king. You're killing me, bro. That just that just doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Listen,
like
man,
I said, I even gave you the opportunity to name somebody. You couldn't do it.
And I don't got to name, but I don't got to name anybody who was around before him. I can name several people that was after him. That in the grand scheme, if we say, you know what, if we were writing the book of the history of R&B, and we were putting together the greatest artists of all in the history of R&B, there are people right now who Tank wouldn't even come close to, that have been around in less time than Tank.
Like who?
Young Blue. Jacquees. Listen, man. Listen, I can't let you out of here without talking about Monique DL Hughley, bro. You got to set this up for me, though, man.
All right. So basically, man, there's a tour that happened, and apparently the way Monique heard it, or the way she has it in her contract, is that she was supposed to be the headliner. And so with that, DL Hughley was like, look, you can look at the pay stub or at the ticket stub to see who the headliner is. Because he said, I'm not performing. If she go on last, I'm not performing. So what it is it seems like it's just a miscommunication between the promoter, because the promoter probably told them both some similar stuff. And so them two are going back and forth, because Monique is like, look, you done came and sat in my house and this, that, and the other, whoop, and you wasn't even the headliner on the Kings of Comedy tour. I was the headliner on the Queens of Comedy tour. And, basically and so DL Hughley basically came out and said, like, listen, against better judgment of my team and the 3 times that I did say no, I decided to try to work with Monique. But here we go. Tyler Perry was the issue. Oprah was the issue. Netflix was the issue. Now I'm the issue. Charlemagne was the issue. So at some point in time, when is it going to be you? Because it's like it can't be everybody is or whatever. So she comes back and she says she was basically like, look, I'm gonna always fight for me or whatever like that. But at the end of the day, you can say all you want to say, but pull out your contract though, because my contract, the signed contract, says that I am the headliner. So regardless of what you trying to say, like all you doing is lip serving. I got the receipts basically.
See, this is my thing. Maybe if you already got your contract and your receipts say you got paid however amount of money, right? Then I guess too, in that industry, being the headliner and coming on last is a big deal. Because I saw that Kevin Hart and Chris Rock, they kind of had a little jokingly thing about who would be going on first, who would be kind of the opening act. And I don't know how big of a deal it is. Apparently, it's a bigger deal than what maybe I would have thought, because I would think that, all right, you know what? Technically speaking, whoever gets paid more, name rides the heaviest. So it's like I look at that and I think that, regardless of how much, if people say, oh, well, women, comedians don't get the same amount as men, blah, 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 blah. I guess I didn't think that it was that big of a deal on who goes on first. Versus who close out the show. But I think that the part that is interesting to me is that at the end of the day, I agree with something that I agree with something that DL Hughley said about it. I just don't think if I go to a comedy show to watch them too, I didn't come here to hear you talk about to go in about your contract. Like yeah, you might come there, you might laugh at some of the sting behind it, but I'm like, you mean to tell me that this was part of your set? Like, that's not what I'm here for. So I was
but at the same time though, this is where I push back on that. For one, again, we just talked about how social media and media in general is where it is used to air your grievances these days, right? On top of that, as an audience member, you don't know what you came to hear. You came to laugh. It doesn't matter. So that means you came to hear me speak. That it doesn't say when you buy your ticket, it doesn't say what content I'm going to talk about or what I'm not going to talk about.
That's very true.
All right. So for him, so that again, that's a subjective thing. I agree. While I agree with the statement, I would not have wanted to hear that. At the same time, I don't get to pick and choose the stuff that a comedian says. If I'm choosing to go and listen to said comedian, I paid my money to hear them talk.
That's very true. I think for me though, bro, it's just I just thought that it was hella extra, bro. And I'm gonna be honest. I mean, she says some stuff that under normal circumstances, and maybe I would have laughed at. I guess I just didn't. I wasn't for only have seen the clip, not that entertained by it. So it's like for me, the entertainment value just wasn't worth the rant, though, man. But
bro, listen. At the same time, go ahead.
If she says she don't want to, like, if she's basically, I think that she's doubling down and standing on principle of don't disrespect don't disrespect my value and my tenure to this. I understand that part of it. I guess I don't know what the right way to go about that is. I just think that at the end of the day, given all the other things that have been said about her, when it comes to, like you said, the Tyler Perrys, the Lee Daniel, all these people, it's just like, to me, it just didn't look so flattering to me for her.
It didn't, but at the same token, though, we are talking about her right now. And so the thing is that, it can very much highlight the stuff that the other creators was having issues with her about, because the thing is that she can be looked at as difficult to work with when every time she disagrees with something, she got to open her mouth. Yeah. Like nobody wants to deal with that. She is making a mess of things, but at the same token, in her brain, the mess she's making is worth it because she feels like she's being true and authentic to herself. That
I can respect that.
Whatever bag I'm getting is because I kept it real with who I am. I'm not gonna let anybody step on me, because she even brought in the whole thing like, so you basically trying to almost like, oh, because you're a male, then you think you can be the headliner when I'm the one that was the headliner when we were both in our prime, basically. Like I was still headlining when you and I was in the same build. I was headlining and you wasn't, but now all of a sudden you think like I'm 30 years into this and you think you finna just like big sis me or big brother me, like, nah, you can go on before me. She's like, no. Here's my thing too. The one thing I won't argue with her about, I don't care about the approach or none of that. That's gonna be subjective. But I think whatever was in her contract, if she was told that she was gonna be the headliner, I don't know that's where I kind of just like, okay, she got a point.
Yeah, no, I get that, man, and I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at that, but like I said, I'm not mad at the fight.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, she was going in though, man. I think that she
was going in like the old school going in, like, because she can get away with certain things. Because if that had been a dude saying those things to DL Hughley, it'd be a whole different conversation.
Oh yeah. Hey, so listen, I'm gonna get you on out of here though, bro. I think tomorrow is supposed to be the verdict, the verdict on this Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, though, man. What do you expect to happen?
Here I'm gonna give you the answer you want, but I'm also give you the answer that I want to give. which is at the end of the day, regardless of what the verdict is, they've both lost so much from this because of this being so public that it really doesn't make a difference. But I honestly think that she doesn't have enough as evidence to prove that Johnny Depp was physically abusing her.
Right. Yeah.
So I unfortunately, he's going to win the defamation suit because, you know, he can say that, no, at the end of the day, I lost on opportunities and I lost money behind this relationship. And the fact that she's trying to slander me by saying that I physically assaulted her, especially coming off the Me Too movement, he's definitely going to win his countersuit, in my opinion.
I'd be curious to see. I think that I have a feeling that they're going to end up just kind of dismissing the whole thing and just say, listen, man, y'all just walk this one off.
That would be the best thing, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's one of those things, like, they have already lost so much off of this just from the like it's almost like, you know, like how we say all the time, if we see somebody black that does something in the news and we be like, they set us back, that's the way I feel with them too. Like bro, y'all have completely set y'all's people back.
Yeah. Listen, man, what's good with you for the week though, bro?
Really, bro, you know, the stuff that I got going on personally, just still dealing with that. Other than that, man, just trying to take care of the fam, and that's about it, bro.
Hey, man, I'm working on my final countdown week here, man. So it's been interesting here. But I think that I actually planning on, because of that final countdown, though, man, trying to get into the lab as expeditiously as possible, though, man. So yeah, but still capitalizing. I've been on my creative high, and everything been back to back, though, man. So I'm hoping to go ahead and get in the lab probably shortly after this to go ahead and knock out some more stuff, though, man. Plus, Landon is actually gone to he's doing basketball camp this week. So
he is.
Yeah, he's doing basketball camp. So because he's there, that gives me about a good 7-hour window, man, where I got some peace and quiet to go ahead and do some recording here without the loud interruptions, though, man. So I'm trying to take advantage of that also. So yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, man, I can tell you every time, if you're seeing these, if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you for checking on in. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook page, because we are live on both platforms, and you can let us know. We always say, let us know what you want to hear us talk about. We keep our ears to the streets and see what's going on, but let us know if we missing something you want to hear our opinion about. Love to chat with you, though, man. On that note, Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother. Hold on, let me cue the music up. Let me cue it. Bear with me.
Oh, you good? We appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining us, man, for real.
All right. There we go. We need to get us an intern out here, man.